All right. Hello, sophomores. Thanks for having us virtually in your English classes today. Today we're here to get the party started on talking about course requests and how to choose classes for next year and how we're going to be doing that. But before we get in and get going, let's go ahead and do introductions really quickly, just in case you don't remember who we are. So I'll start. My name is Mr. Wilson. I'm the counselor for the Alpha Scholars and then also students with last name A through C.
Hi everybody, I'm Mr. Bear. I'll be assisting students with the last names that start with D through K and any students that have any special needs.
Hi everyone, my name is Ms. Parojas and I am overseeing students that are on the AVID program as well as students with the last names L and N.
Hi guys, my name is Ms. Mordago. If your last name starts with the letter M, O, or Z, I'll be your counselor, and then also if you are in the EL program, I will be helping you.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Hampton, and my caseload includes the alphabet P through Y.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Morton, and I am the PBIS counselor.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Mitchell, and I work in the Wellness Center.
All right, so let's get started.
Okay, before we start going over course requests and what class options you have, it's really important that you guys know how to check if you're on track for graduation. So something that's really helpful is that you can now access your transcript via Student View. So if you log into Student View and click on course history, right to the right-hand side of graduation status, a little blue square will say unofficial transcript. If you click that, it'll generate a transcript for you that's going to have a lot of useful information. So this is a sample and it'll break down each semester, each year that you're here at Carter, and then the grades and the credits you've earned. Something that's really useful is the graduation requirement credit summary box. So it'll actually break down each subject area, what's required in order to graduate, the credits you've completed, and then the credits that are still needed. So that's what those columns are. If you don't know who your counselor is, you can find that information here as well on the right-hand side of that transcript right there. So if you've never failed anything, you should have 90 credits completed. You're considered on track for graduation if you have at least 70 credits. And again, you can find that information in that summary box. If you look under the completed column there, it should say 90.
Am I on track for college? So not only are you trying to make sure that you're on track for graduation, but you need to make sure that you're on track to go to college. And by following the RA through G path, you will be eligible for any CSU or UC campus, as long as you pass your classes with a C or better. So that includes your history classes, all 4 years of English, 3 years of math, 2 years of a laboratory science, 2 years minimum of a foreign language, 1 year of a visual and performing arts, and then a college prep elective. Again, all of these classes must be passed with a C or better.
Okay, how do I know what classes I should be requesting for next year? So this is the course request process. So first off, you should have a 4-year plan. So that 4-year plan that you did for the first time when you were in 8th grade at the middle school before you came to us, and then last year you should have gone in and updated it. But your 4-year plan, if you don't remember, should look something like this. It's in your Google Drive. So if you go to your Google Drive and search through your documents, you should be able to find it. And you should be updating this at least once a year, guys. So you'll notice when you look at the 4-year plan, you've got 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. When you update it, make sure that 10th grade actually looks like what you're taking this year. So go in and change the classes and make sure that everything matches what you're in. Because a lot of times when you make this plan, things will change because classes get full or you decide you don't want something anymore and then things change. So you should be updating this at least once a year. So it's definitely time for you to get in and update this document, and then you can start looking at what 11th and 12th grade are going to look like. So you'll notice, guys, that next year as an 11th grader, you're going to have an English class, you're going to have a math class, you're going to be finishing up your 3-year science sequence, hopefully. You're going to have history, and then you've got room for 2 electives. And for a lot of people, that's going to be foreign language and something else, but we'll be talking about those elective options here in a little bit. So again, time to get in and update your 4-year plan. and make sure that this matches. Guys, counselors are not entering course requests based on what you put in your 4-year plan. This is a planning document so that you know how to talk to your counselor about what classes you're planning on doing and to make sure that you can fit them in before you graduate. If for whatever reason you cannot find your 4-year plan, we set up a Google Classroom for those students who need to recreate a new 4-year plan, and the join code is right there at the bottom. So if you can't find your 4-year plan document, or for some reason you never did it, please join this Google Classroom 6TQQNN4 and get in there and do that 4-year plan. It's literally the only assignment in that classroom, so that way you've got a document for when you're meeting with your counselor. Okay, so again, I'm going to leave that code up there for a couple more seconds, and then we're going to move on. If you don't have your 4-year plan or can't find it, join that Google Classroom and get that started. Okay. All right, so after you've got your 4-year plan, at that point, you're going to want to access our online course catalog on the Carter website to help you make your choices. So let's go ahead and get out of our presentation and go to that now. If for whatever reason you've never been to the Carter High School website, if you Google Carter High School, we're the first thing that comes up. There it is, homepage. So when you go to our Carter High School website, and up at the top here on these drop downs, if you go to students, you're going to go down to our course catalog. Okay, so when you click on that, this opens up our online course catalog website. Every single class that we offer at Carter is on this website, and we've done the best we can to give you course descriptions, and a lot of the courses actually have videos attached to them so you can learn about them. Let's just figure out how to navigate this real quick before we move on. So you'll notice that every single page on the left here is set up by what category the class falls under. On the home page, which is where we are right now, there are 3 things. You have the graduation requirements, if you need to remember what you need to graduate. Our A through G requirements that Ms. Mitchell just talked about. So those of you guys that want to be prepared for college, this is what we need to do there. And your academic planner. So your academic planner breaks down every single course and what it's going to look like for 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. So as we're planning for your junior year next year, you can see here really quickly what your options are. And if you want to know more about those classes, for instance, when we talk about social studies, you can either access it by clicking here, or you can go to the left where it says social studies. So let's go ahead and talk about social studies.
This is Ms. Hampton back with you to talk about social studies. As a junior, you have 3 options. And let's look at how the page, how it looks. Let's click over to social studies and see what it looks like for a junior. Okay, first we have 20th century U.S. history. And here's a brief blurb that tells you about this class. It's a college prep class, so you can also use that for A through G requirements. Next, we have a new class, a brand new class, Race and Gender and U.S. History. A brief blurb about that class also. And then, of course, we have APUSH, AP United States History, and a brief blurb about that class. So you have 3 choices for your junior year. Now let's move over to Mrs. Morton to talk about English.
Thank you. As a junior, you will have 2 options for your English courses. Your first one is English 11, and then you also have the choice of AP English Language. Both of those will meet the A through G requirement, so you will need to make a selection of which course you would like to take. Also with the AP course, keep in mind that does come with an AP exam at the end of the year.
Okay, so now we're going to get into math. So something to keep in mind regarding math is that all of our classes are sequential. And basically what that means is that you're going to take them in a particular order when it comes to math. So the order is Math 1, Math 2, Math 3. And then when you move on past Math 3, you will branch out into different options, Math 4, Intro to College. A vast majority of you right now are currently in Math 2. So if we're following the sequence, you will move on to Math 3 for next year as a junior. If you're currently in Math 2 Honors, you will move on to Math 3 for next year, Math 3 Honors. If you're currently in General Math 3, you can move on to Math 4. And if you're currently in Math 3 Honors, you can move on to Math 4 Honors.
And just a real quick side note on that, it is possible if you're in Math 3 Honors to also move on to AP Calculus and skip Math 4 Honors, but that's a conversation you should absolutely be having with your math teacher, to make sure that you're on the same page for making that move, because that's a big jump. And if you're going to make that jump, we want to make sure you're ready. All right, let's talk about science. So next year as a junior, you're going to be finishing up your 3-year science sequence that is necessary for graduation and for college. So, so we have 2 pathways at this point at Carter, which is environmental science and then our traditional pathway. We know that we have some of you juniors that are still on our global health pathway. You'll notice that you don't see that on our planner here, but if you're in global health 2 this year, you can absolutely take global health 3. We're going to be offering it for juniors so you can finish up your sequence. But otherwise, if you're in exploring marine environments, the next class in the sequence is energy in the worlds of the future, and you cannot change your sequence anymore at this point. So exploring marine environments, energy in the world of the future. If you are in chemistry and earth systems, you move on to physics in the universe or AP physics. And you can do that if you're in honors or want to push yourself, you can jump into that AP class as well. So those are your options for science. And again, all these courses, if you click on them, are going to bring you to the page, and you'll notice for 11th grade, here are your options here, okay? All right, now this is really the end of the required classes as far as core goes for 11th grade, but we're gonna have Mr. Bayer talk about PE real quick.
Okay, folks, so with PE, as a sophomore moving into your junior year, we would hope and assume that you finished both years of PE, which are required. Remember, you need 2 years of PE to graduate. So assuming that you guys have done that, as Mr. Wilson said, you may have some other electives that you can choose to take. However, remember that marching band and ROTC are also classes that could have given you PE credit. And also being involved in a sport could have given you PE credit as well. Make a special note if you've been involved in a sport of the red notice we have down here at the bottom. Just a reminder of how much credit you can receive by playing a full season of a sport. And that you also need to make sure you let your counselor know that you've done that as well. Last thing to mention with PE, if anybody has failed PE previously, please ensure that you think about taking PE as a junior, so then that way your senior year is freed up and you don't have to worry about it then.
Perfect. And guys, we know this year has been strange because we've all been stuck at home and none of the sports have been happening. So clearly you're not going to be waiving a sport this year. But guys, you're going to be a junior next year. If you still need a full year of PE, you still have 2 more years to do a sport. So as long as you're planning on, say, playing soccer as a junior and soccer as a senior, we have every reason to believe that we're going to be back to some sense of normalcy next year, and that we anticipate that's going to be with sports as well, okay? So again, guys, when you're looking at your 4-year plan, you've got those 4 core classes, which is English, math, science, history. Most of you guys are done with PE, so that means most juniors are going to have 2 more electives that you can take. This is a good time to note that hopefully you've started a foreign language, because for college you need to at least do 2 years of a foreign language. We really want you to do that 3rd year and push yourself and make you look real competitive. So if you don't sign up for a 3rd year foreign language, you need to know that your counselor is going to be pushing you really hard to do that, because we want you to be as competitive as possible when you go on to apply for college as a senior. But we have a lot more, guys, that we want you to take a look at. We have a lot of classes in visual and performing arts, and if any of these look interesting, you can click on the class and it'll bring you to that page, and you can read up on all the different offerings. A lot of the teachers have provided videos to help you understand what those offerings are. So lots in visual and performing arts that we have to offer. If you haven't started a career tech pathway and you want to do that, we have 5 different pathways here at Carter. You can learn about that. We have all of our different special classes that are offered here as programs, academic teams, that kind of stuff. So again, guys, spend some time the next couple days making yourselves familiar with what classes we have to offer and making a plan, okay? So you are going to get that 4-year plan updated and spend some time in the next couple days with our course catalog so that you know what you want to sign up for, okay? If you have questions anywhere along the way, on the Carter High School website here, you can get a hold of us. If you don't know where to find us, under students, you can go to counseling center, counseling office. And all of the counselors are here. All of our email addresses are here. So if you have a question, guys, feel free to reach out to your counselor. And we know that a lot of you guys have been doing that throughout the year, and we all try and respond to these as quickly as we can. So if you have questions about classes or anything regarding this, you can feel free to reach out to us, okay? Let's jump back over and finish our presentation here. So, and Miss Mitchell is going to talk about AP classes.
So did you sign up for an AP class? Are you trying to challenge yourself this year? Hopefully you are, and we really encourage you. So if you did, if you signed up for APUSH, if you signed up for AP English Language, make sure that you are aware that there is an AP Summit that will be online this year, April 1st to May 1st. If you signed up for one of these classes, you must complete the assignment by May 1st. More information will be available to you. So hopefully you did sign up for one of those classes, and make sure that you sign up for the online AP Summit.
Well, when will I actually request classes for next year? Funny you should ask that question. I have the answer. The counselors will be visiting your English class on March 3rd and 4th to have everyone complete a Google form. And at that time, please, please, please know what 6 classes you plan to ask for and write down any questions you may have for your counselor before we come. We look forward to seeing you on March 3rd and 4th.
Perfect. All right. So guys, now the ball is in your court. You just need to spend some time updating your 4-year plan and going through our course catalog to make sure you know what you want when we see you. Otherwise, we will see you in a couple days. And as Ms. Hampton said, we're looking forward to it. Thank you guys. We appreciate your time.